Hi, I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. In today's video, I want to talk about the current market situation and specifically why I think that now and in the next few weeks is one of the best times to get into crypto, regardless if you're completely new to this space or if you've been in the space for a while and maybe you're thinking about adding some more funds into crypto. So, of course, we are generally in a downtrend, in quite bearish phase of the market. Bitcoin hit its all-time high in early November, and since then it's been, largely trending down. But situations like this they present essentially the best buying opportunities. There is a lot of fear and uncertainty in the market. I've done a poll earlier this week where I asked people what they think will happen next, and the results were, to be honest, pretty much the same as from what I've seen in other similar polls done recently. Roughly half of the people think that Bitcoin will pick up soon and will essentially start heading towards a bullish phase of the market. And while the other half thinks that we'll have another few weeks of this sideways movement or possibly further downtrend, possibly even as low as 30k. So this just shows that there's pretty even split of people who think it will go one way or another, which just shows that overall people are really uncertain about the current market situation. But like I said, in my point of view, this is actually an opportunity. It's not a bad thing. There are of course risks involved in investing at this point of the market cycle, but I think the opportunities are far outweighing the risks. Because at the end of the day, if let's say you're looking to invest in Bitcoin, there is a good chance that Bitcoin may hold around 40k. There is a risk it may dip to about 30k. It's extremely unlikely it will go below 30k. So basically, there is a possibility of about 25% drop from the current price. And very, very small chance of further drop below that. But at the same time, there's pretty good chance, I would argue, much bigger chance that Bitcoin will hold the current level and eventually will start picking up. And once it will start picking up, it will at some point this year, most likely it will at some point this year, go well above 100k, possibly well above 150k. So the potential gains are, in my opinion, far outweighing the potential risks. But anyway, let's have a look at the current market situation. So, like I said, we are still in this downtrend. The last week or so is showing a little bit of a recovery and breaking this trend, but let's be honest, until we get above the 20-week SMA, the bull market support band, which is currently still around just over 52k, so around 9 grand from current Bitcoin's price. Well, until we get to that level, there's nothing to get excited about. If we go a little bit up or a little bit down, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. What we don't want is close below 40k. It's not the end of the world, but it would be quite bearish if we close below 40k. But at the same time, until we get to above 52k, we're just sort of range bound between those in this 40 to 50k bracket, and we just have to break above the bull market support band, ideally then retest it and confirm it as support, set it as support, and then we can expect another proper bull run like we've seen earlier this year. What's most likely we're seeing right now, it's another phase like we had in the summer last year, so just prolonged reaccumulation phase. I think, and a lot of people seem to be thinking the same thing, that it's likely that the whole Q1 may be quite uneventful. This doesn't mean that the price of Bitcoin will not go up or potentially even break above that bull market support band. It just means that we won't I will risk saying that Bitcoin will not hit new all-time high in Q1 2022. Of course, there are no guarantees, but I think it's extremely unlikely. I think Q2 possibly, but I expect the big bull run to be Q3 or Q4 of this year, and potentially even early 2023. So basically this means that the next 3 to 6 months are going to be largely about accumulating crypto and preparing for that massive bull run. I expect that there will be plenty of opportunities for some solid gains during those 3 to 6 months. I don't think we will be just going sideways and nothing will be happening. We can see already that there's quite a fair bit of volume in NFTs, and crypto gaming at the moment has been a little bit quiet, but I think that it will start picking up soon. I would certainly expect that if Bitcoin can break above this bull market support band, even if it doesn't set new all-time high, even if it does something similar to this, just sort of bounces at, well, let's say it will be something between 50 and 60K, I think this will present amazing opportunity for a proper bull run for gaming altcoins. So we are still firmly in a extreme fear territory on the fear and greed index, but bear in mind that price of Bitcoin is pretty much exactly the same as it was at this point last year. And 40K Bitcoin in January last year was actually extreme greed. So the market sentiment changed a lot, even though the price of Bitcoin actually stayed the same. Well, it moved up and down quite a bit over the last 12 months, of course, but it just sort of shows how you cannot rely on one indicator, just the price or just the fear and greed index or whatever else, because it absolutely doesn't tell you the full story. It's just one of the elements. You have to combine all of them to get the more complete picture of the market and try to predict what is likely to happen next. So I got quite a few messages on YouTube and Twitter, and just people asking me in real life, friends and friends of friends, is it a good time to buy crypto now, or what projects I'm looking at? And I would say two things. I personally, not financial advice of course, personally I think it's a really good time to buy crypto. I think that this dip, this current downtrend and sideways movement, it presents great buying opportunity in the same way that the summer last year presented great buying opportunity as well. Well, you could get Bitcoin at 30K or 35K quite easily. I think this is essentially equivalent of that, except that the price of Bitcoin is somewhere around 45K. So I think that safe strategy would be to start allocating maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, or maybe monthly, depending what you prefer to do, but essentially putting some money into Bitcoin on a regular basis, essentially DCAing into Bitcoin. I think the safest strategy is to do this for Bitcoin, ETH, potentially some other top 20, top 25 altcoins. But until Bitcoin breaks above that bull market support band, I would, if you want to play it safe, I would stick mainly to Bitcoin and ETH. If you want to do something a bit more degen, then, well, of course, you should be looking at smaller and smaller cap altcoins. This is extremely risky strategy at this point in the market. If you're completely new to crypto, I would suggest that you don't do this, because although the potential for gains is huge, the risk is also much bigger, because these are the projects which, well, they can go down to zero, they can fail completely, or even if the project is quite solid but Bitcoin decides to crap itself and goes down to 30K, well, Bitcoin will recover, or the worst case scenario is that, well, even at 30K you're losing only 25% of the current, from the current price, more or less. But with the smaller cap altcoins, well, they can go down like 80-90%. And of course that pretty much wipes out your investment. And when and how they recover is much less predictable than how Bitcoin is likely to recover. That being said, I do have a bit of a degen in me, and I am looking at quite a few gaming alts. As you know, I've discussed this many times on this channel. So this is the current almost full list of the projects I'm looking at. There are a couple of other ones which I maybe got into in IGOs, or I have very small positions in, but this is majority of the projects I'm interested in, projects I'm actively trading. There are a couple of projects here which I'm not invested in. At the moment, I don't have anything in the final, and Wonder Hero. I don't hold any of that. and my position in Star Atlas is very, very, very small. Everything else, I have positions, and I've been adding to most of those positions recently. And these are the projects I'm currently tracking, well, on daily basis. I check prices many times a day, and I look at good entry points, and basically I have funds loaded to exchanges and ready to buy more if I'm happy with a price point. The safer projects on this list are Vulcan Forge, Remark, Veracity. I would say Altura, even though it has much lower market cap, but it's a solid tested project. Possibly Thetan Arena, it's also quite large market cap. So these are the ones which they still present large degree of risk. They are still small cap coins or mid-size. I'm extremely bullish on all of them, and I think they'll all do really well. You can check out my previous videos, what are my price predictions for those projects, but yeah, these are the safer ones. The more risky ones are of course the small market cap, and here the biggest degen plays would be Polka City, Good Games Guild, and MetaGods. Very bullish on all three of those. I bought a lot of MGod a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned it here and on Twitter. It's been doing really well since then. Good Games Guild and Polka City, absolutely tiny market caps, so it's worth putting at least a little bit in. So yeah, it can quite nicely pump over time. I don't expect any of those projects to pump until Bitcoin can actually go above its bull market support band. Unless, of course, there's a big influencer mentioning them or something like that, then of course that naturally causes a pump, but that's somewhat artificial. That's not really the market going up and the value of the project going up. Is just an artificial pump. So these are the projects I'm looking at if you're interested in gaming cryptos. Now, in terms of upcoming projects, there is one I'm particularly bullish on, and that's Sin City. There's been a lot of buzz around it. Probably heard about it. I mentioned it on this channel as well, actually. I believe the IGO, well, it was supposed to happen earlier this month, but it was postponed because of the market situation. I think that coincided with Bitcoin dumping somewhere around here. So, of course, not the great time to launch a token. Yeah, this one I'm really bullish on. I think the date is now set for the 20th of January, so in about 4 days. But I'm sure I saw it somewhere, but then I couldn't find that information again, so please don't quote me on that, but definitely keep an eye on it. You can just go to CDFI Fund's Launchpad page and see when this token will launch, or you can check on CDFI's Telegram. There will be information there as well. So that's one project I'm massively bullish on. You can also get the limited blueprint NFT on Binance NFT marketplace. The current price is around $800. I heard predictions that it may hit something between $1,500 and $2,000. Of course, this is just a speculation, but there is an expectation that it may do it. And you can also get Sin City Genesis Pass. These are not cheap, over 7 ETH at the moment, but they're only just over 400 of them. And again, there is speculation that the price of those, because of extremely low supply, may hit something between 15 and 20 ETH. So potentially interesting if you have a lot of spare ETH to spend. But if not, well, you can still consider those limited blueprints and also the token itself as soon as it launches, which should be in the next few days. And then another upcoming project I'm really bullish on is Mavia. I've made a video purely about this project, I think yesterday or a couple of days ago. There will be a token coming soon, I believe in February. There will be multiple NFTs coming. The first NFT, the land sale, or the first batch of land sale, that's the whitelist is closing, I think, on the 20th as well. So again, in about 4 days. And yeah, I'm really bullish on this one. Really excited to see what they will do. So that's it. I think these are the projects I'm currently looking at. Personally, what I'm doing at the moment is just allocating relatively small amounts of money on a regular basis, every few days, every week or so, to not all of those projects, but most of those projects. Sometimes when I make a bit of profit, I just reallocate it to another project. Here and there I may get some tokens from staking, some rewards from staking and stuff like that. So I may also invest that. But essentially I added a little bit of Bitcoin to my portfolio, a little bit more of Bitcoin, which I mentioned recently. Right now I'm adding mainly ETH and those gaming cryptos. Those gaming projects are extremely risky at this point in the market cycle, but since crypto gaming and NFTs seem to be the main narrative for this year, and well, to be honest, I think for foreseeable future, I think these projects will do extremely well. And personally, I'm feeling quite confident, even if there is a bit of a dip, and even if those projects dip or don't do much for a while, I think they will pick up really nicely. Not financial advice, of course, just my personal opinion. Like I said, quite risky strategy, but I think it will pay off. I think that's it from me for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.